You know that old saying, keep your friends close and your enemies closer? Well, what if that enemy is your own mindset, your own attitude, your own emotional response to something? And what if that's the thing that's impacting your ability to be really clear on your vision? That's what we are going to talk about this week. So I was out of office, or supposed to be out of office for the last few days. My mom and I were going to go on a trip, and then she became ill, and so we weren't able to do that. So I took the time to just rest, purge, did a lot of purging, got a lot more to do, but I just felt like I had to get all the shit out of my space, quite frankly. Just too much around me. So I had to get it all gone so I could just breathe and see and think, right? Cluttered desk, cluttered mind. And I did a lot of that. And then I intentionally said I was going to spend Monday and Tuesday really re-looking at the strategy and for these last 4 months to get clearer again, right? To adjust where I needed to adjust, to get some things done and ready for launch in this last quarter, which I now have, 2 weeks to get to, a week and a half to get to. Not even that, 1 week. Oh, Lord. So really wanted to spend some time focused on that and making sure that all of that was ready to go. And so I intentionally took time to do that yesterday and today. Well, yesterday I got caught up in a few things that I wanted to respond to. Got some things done, but there were some things I wanted to respond to, and they just took longer than I anticipated. And I thought, no problem. We're just going to really focus tomorrow. So I get up today. One, I forgot I needed to do this podcast, so I'm doing it for you now. So, and divine intervention, right? I knew what I wanted to talk about, but then these things happened, and they're immediately relatable to this particular topic. So I got up this morning ready to work, right? And LinkedIn is still having an issue, technical issue. And of course, customer support starts with, have you restarted? Have you logged out? Have you cleared your cache? So immediately my attitude was on 500 because, hello, anybody who's had a computer more than 5 minutes knows to do all that stuff first before you even contact somebody. My fault. I should have said that when I reach out. I've already done all that stuff. Started step number 20. So that's how the day started. Then trying to do something else, and there's a technical issue. Then I wanted to apply to speak at a conference, and all of my dates were all jacked up, right? I thought the date was a date for another thing, so now I've missed that opportunity. Just all the things, right? So as I got ready to move to the next thing and just say, you know what, I got to figure something else out. I just got it. I could feel from the tips of my toes, I could feel the emotion rising, right? Just the defeated, overwhelming, need to be in tears, all of this stuff just started taking over, right? And I thought, you know what, forget it. Just forget it. The rest of the week is going to be crazy. Oh, my glasses aren't working, right? It's the second time I've had the lenses done, and I love my frames, but I can't do it, and I can't get into my doctor, so I got to see another doctor. Y'all, all the things, I'm telling you, all the things. And I could feel that emotion just taking over. And then I just said, wait, Laurel, physician, heal thyself. Pause. Just take a minute. These emotions are real, right? Your nervous system is on 500, and that's real. Our nervous system will take over because it's there to protect us. So I stopped and I said, what's going on, right? What is this, all this emotion? You know what you really want to get accomplished for your ultimate goal of being in service. And if you don't do it now, time is not renewable. You're not going to have another 2 hours tomorrow. You can't get these 2 hours back, right? Which is what's so frustrating about customer service. I can't get that time back that I spent with LinkedIn this morning, that I could have been doing something else. And I paused and looked at that emotion and said, hey, wait, it's real. Let me honor that. The feelings are real, but the story that the feelings are hearing, that's promoting them, is not true. I'm not too tired. I'm not defeated. I'm not unworthy. I'm not any of those things. None of that stuff is true, right? That's all head trash. None of that stuff is true. What is true is that the mindset, that enemy, right, that we know is on the job. It's on the job. And sometimes it's easy for us to see the enemy that's away from us, the haters, right? That boss, that colleague that really is trying to undermine you, that says those little snarky things, right? You can see that. That is palpable. You can see it coming. But when the enemy is your own head, your own emotions, your own gut, when that's the enemy, that's a little bit harder. And that is the worst for your vision, for your clarity. Remember, I always tell you, it's not unkind to be clear. And that means with yourself too. So I had to pause and say, wait, okay, we feel these emotions. The emotions are real. Let's address those. But what is the story that's driving these emotions? And we're getting ready to go into this 5-day activated alignment series, which is answers the questions who you are and where you are, right? Really get clear on who you are and where you are. And I love this series because it really takes people back to the very beginning. What is it? Who are you? What grounds you? What really makes your soul sing? And then where are you now? Because if you can get that clear, then you can really get clear on what it is you want, right? Your vision can become clear. So that mindset, understanding that sometimes your enemy is your own head, is a really important tool to have in your toolbox and can be a battle winner. It is a huge weapon to be able to understand that trigger and stop it in its tracks. Laurel, that's emotion. The emotion is real, but the story may not be. What is that story? Because the reality is you're irritated because something went wrong and you counted on things being working this morning because you had all these things on your list and you counted on it taking a certain amount of time and it took longer because it just wasn't functioning. So you're really irritated at stuff that is absolutely beyond your control. There is nothing you can do about it. But what you can do is readjust and work on something else, send it to the people that are supposed to be doing it and keep it moving. That's what you can control. Right? Often our emotion and our emotional response is about stuff we can't control. It is absolutely not within our control. I cannot control LinkedIn. I cannot control these other things that are working in terms of service. I got nothing to do with that. I can't control the quality of the lenses that were put in my new glasses that are still a problem 3 weeks later. And I love my new frames, my signature frames. I just love them. But these glasses, the lenses are making me crazy. I'm squinting all the time. I'm like, I shouldn't be squinting with my glasses on. That's the whole point, right? So all of these things are combining to give me this sentiment and feeling of a lack of control. But I do have control over my response. I have control over how I choose to use my time. I have control over how I want to show up, when I want to show up, what I want to work on, and whether or not I actually take action to make this vision come true because I want to be in service to you. So this podcast this week is really about me being transparent, as I always am, but really using myself as an example for you as we get ready to go into this activated alignment series, the last one of 2022, to say, I want you to really think about your own triggers. And therapy is a beautiful thing, y'all. I'm telling you, if I didn't have my therapist, I wouldn't know half this stuff. I wouldn't know what my triggers were. I wouldn't be able to recognize them because awareness is the first key. So I highly suggest seeking out counsel, right? Whether that's therapy or just a really good friend, someone, go talk to someone who can see things that you can't see, connect dots that you can't connect. That is one of my superpowers, is being able to really connect dots that some people don't even see exist. And I want you to really think about what your triggers are. When you get in one of those spaces at work where you're like, I just cannot do this anymore. I'm out. I saw this guy I follow on Instagram, Terry K, was so funny that he was doing this meme, right, a video, and he's like pretending to pack up his stuff and leave his job. And the person's like, what land are you in that you're going to quit your job because you can't take your PTO wasn't approved? And he's like, la la land, and I'm out. Excuse me, right? So it's that same thing. Don't hurt you because you're mad at them. Don't hurt your vision Entrepreneurs, don't hurt yourself in terms of getting where you want to be because you're mad at all the other stuff that's going on. You're upset at everything else that's happening. Entrepreneurship is hard. Being in corporate America is hard. Life is hard. And there's so much to be grateful for. There are so many things that are right dead center in your genius. And you can control you. You can control your response. You can choose how and if you want to deal with something. You have a choice. So if you're in that organization and it's one of those days where you're like, I cannot do this today. I just cannot. Take a minute. Pause before you say or do something that you can't reverse. And then if it's a day that you need a mental health day, you take a mental health day. You know what? I am out today. I will see you guys tomorrow. I need to take PTO. It is in my best interest and yours for me to do that today. I can't do it today. I'm out. Right? If it's an entrepreneur and you need to take a minute, take a minute. Just don't let that minute turn into 3 months, right? Take a minute. Or like I did this morning, recognize that your emotions are out of control, and give yourself permission to pause, examine, ask yourself why, maybe do some tapping, tune into what you're feeling and where, and why are you feeling it, and then move. Right? Yes, I am frustrated by all this madness that happened this morning. I cannot control everybody else's stuff, but I can control mine. I can move on to something else that doesn't require that stuff to be working. Right? People did stuff before LinkedIn, before Facebook, before Instagram, before all that kind of stuff. If it goes down, it goes down. I can still contact people. I can still work on the things I need to work. I can still show up for all of you. And you can do the same. You can still show up for you. You can still show up for you. Because when you show up for you, then you can show up for everyone else. But don't let that enemy of your mind circumvent all the stuff that you're trying to do. Keep that mind enemy close, 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 close. So close that you know what your mind's about to do before it does it. So you can respond appropriately. You can put it in its place if you have to. Or if it's just one of those things, you can actually go into that dorsal mode and say, you know what, today I just need a minute. I am completely taking off. I am disconnecting because my emotions are so raw right now. I need to address that. I need to give myself some space to regather my peace and be okay with that. Because if you're in peace, if you're in gratitude, you can see clearer and you can move clearer. And that's the point, right? Don't hurt you because you're mad at them, and give yourself the opportunity to address yourself and deal with yourself and support yourself where you are. You are so kind to meet everyone else where they are. Meet yourself where you are. Understand that mindset is a beast. That mindset is a beast, and it can be your greatest superpower if you know how to harness it. You know how to honor it. You know how to love it, and you know how to manage it. And that's the Rutledge Perspective for this week. Really quick, short bite. Manage your mindset. Keep that enemy close and get clear on that vision. You have gifts that people need. You have amazing things to accomplish in this world, in your organization, on your team, in your company, in your business that you're building. The world needs you. There's only one you. And while there may be 1 million people that are doing something similar to what you're doing, they're not doing it the way you're doing it. So keep showing up in your genius. You got this. I know you do. And your call to action this week, go register for the 5-day alignment action series. 5-day alignment series, right? Go register for that. You can click on my website, laurelrutledge.com, and get it. It's easy. It's right there. Just register for the alignment, 5-day activated alignment series. It's really important to do that. I'm telling you, it will get you set up for this last 4 months of the year. Make sure you go register. And if you miss this one, if you're listening to this podcast at some other time, still go to my website, laurelrutledge.com, and you can get on the waiting list for the 5-day alignment and for the masterclass that's going to happen in September of 2022. That's the last one of the year. And I've got an amazing membership that's coming. So please call to action, go register for the 5-day Activated Alignment series. It is a free series and it starts the 29th. So go register. I look forward to seeing you there. It is really going to make a difference as you go into these last 4 months of the year. Have a great week, you guys. I really appreciate every listen. We're going to do the giveaway. So watch the radio show on Friday this week. Watch the radio show. Watch my social. I'm going to be live telling you guys about the gift I'm giving away for having surpassed 12,000 downloads. That would not happen if it weren't for you. Have a great week, guys. We'll catch you next time. Bye. You have been listening to the Rutledge Perspective podcast. Thank you so much for downloading and for connecting. You can find previous episodes of the podcast on my website at laurelrutledge.com/podcast. You can also find me on social media at Laurel K. Rutledge and/or The Rutledge Perspective. And I'd love your perspective on the things we talk about. And if there's a specific topic you want me to cover, just let me know. And please share this podcast with someone in your village who may need this little piece of perspective today. And if you're so inclined, I would really appreciate a 5-star rating and review on the platform of your choice. Apple Podcasts and Spotify reviews are particularly helpful. Thank you again for listening. Take care.